Okay, I'm about to share my screen. You will just let me know if you are able to see my screen on your side. So let's see. Are you able to see my screen there?
Yes, sir, I can.
Okay, then it's
Um,
fine if that is the case.
Sir,
Sini, are you saying
yes,
something
sir.
then?
Yes, sir. Sir, I just wanted to ask, have you already revised on trigonometry and probability for maths?
Let me see. I think for probability, you might find that I will just check from the archives. Maybe after this lesson, let me know, and then I will check from the archives, and then from there, yeah, we will then communicate the rest via inbox. But I think when it comes to trigonometry, that will be part of paper 2, isn't it?
I
Let's.
believe so. Let me see.
So are you
From
writing
the
a
scope that
combined
the teacher
paper,
gave
or
us,
it's separated into paper 1 and paper 2?
it's separate. So tomorrow,
Okay,
probability is part of paper 1. We are
part of
also
paper 1.
doing
Yes.
function, and the rest is algebra.
Yes, no, I agree. Okay, no, then it's fine. I think as soon as this lesson is done, just let me know, then I'll check in the archives the content for what is it? For probability. I
Probability.
think there is enough content on probability. Then yeah, I will stream those. But it's fine. Just remind me as soon as this is done. Eh?
Yes, sir. Okay, sir.
Good test. Let me just check. Okay, no one is joined. Okay, this is how we're going to work it out. It we'll just try to remind each other of some of the important information. So there we've got an activity. This is an extract from an exam paper. And again, if you master these questions that we're going to be going through, you won't struggle with the functions. It might be that there's a lot of information that you need to consume within limited time. But trust me, the main aim is just to make sure that we go through those different types of questions so that at least in case if it comes, you'll remember all the possible ways in which you can approach those questions. So activity 2, the sketch represents the graph of the parabola given by f of x, which is equal to 2 minus x squared. Points A, B, and C are the intercepts on the axis, and D is the turning point of the graph. So now 1.1, where they say determine the coordinates of A, B, and C. Do you have an idea of how you are going to work it out?
For I believe so. I think no. Yes, I can. Yes, I can, sir.
Yeah, so what we are going to be doing,
Um.
you don't need to write on your side, you just describe how to work it out.
Okay. So since I'm going to start with B. Actually, no. Um. I want to first go to the equation, right? It is not
Yes, it's
in
fine.
standard
Maybe let me
form.
say, if even if you write on your side as you explain, it's fine. As long as um you can make use of this information, if necessary, you can be writing so that you get to what you want to say. And you are 100% correct. Before we can do much, we need to acknowledge that it's not in that order of the standard form. So it can be written in that order, and then only after you start working it out. So you can continue.
Okay. So first, we are going to write f of x in standard form. So we are going to say we are going to divide everything by -1 in order to make x squared positive. No, it can't be. Oh, no, scratch that. So if the parabola is unhappy, it means it has a negative value, right? The gradient is not, yeah, the gradient is negative, right, sir?
No, it is the A value which is negative, not the gradient.
Oh, yes, I meant that, sir. So you don't change anything with that, right, sir? It remains as it is.
Yeah, so
Sir?
the standard form, it is the order that needs to be.
Uh, yes, sir. So, since
And
since
then
the
comes
a value,
that, then it's a plus. So
oh, yeah, cutting, sir. I can't hear you clearly, sir.
how about now? Am I still breaking?
It's much better now, sir.
Oh, okay. Let me see. Okay. Someone has just joined. But can you see what I've done there? In over 9, we haven't done much. We were attempting that first question 1.1, but by looking at that f of x, you can see it's given in that format. So we had to write it in the correct order of starting with the one with the highest degree by saying negative x squared minus x plus 2. See it? You can continue.
Okay. So for B, we can see that it is on the y-axis. So already that one is going to be the y-intercept. So the coordinates for B is going to be 0 and 2.
Wait, we are saying B is going to be 0 and 2. Okay, I agree with you
Yes,
there because you say x is going to be 0 at a B. So that will be
yes.
you finding the y-intercept. Okay, what about the x-intercepts? Or what about A
Okay,
and C?
okay. So now since we have a quadratic equation, we are going to um break them apart, if that's the correct way to say it. We're going to break them apart to solve for x. Now, since we
Yeah,
have
so
since
in short, go on.
okay, since our x squared is negative, we are going to divide the whole equation by -1 so that our x squared can be positive. So after we divide everything by -1, we are going to get x squared plus x minus 2.
Okay,
You got that, sir?
100%. Yes, 100%. So it does look like you've got an idea of what needs to be done. So the summary of it is that you will need to find the y-intercept where x is equals to 0. Then you solve. You do the same for the x-intercepts. Then you equate everything to 0, and then you solve for the x values. So that's how you will
Yes,
get
sir.
the A, B, and C coordinates. So now there is 1.2 over 9. If you're still there, any idea of how we are going to work out that question of 1.2? Nova 9, are you still there? Can you hear me? Ask to unmute. Okay, then it's fine. I will explain and you guys will let me know if it makes sense. So for that question, determine the coordinates of the turning point D. So what I know is that formula for getting the x value of the turning point is A. I'm not sure if you guys remember this formula. So that will mean my B value, I will get it there, which is what? -1. Over to my A value, I will get it there, which is what? -1. So that's how that will cancel with that, and you end up having, what is it? There is that negative, so it becomes -½ I'm not sure, does it make sense?
Yes, sir.
Yes, then for you to get the y value of the turning point, that will mean the y value of the turning point, you will therefore substitute your x value that you got into that original equation there. That's how you will know the coordinates of B. But be aware of something, honorable members. If, for example, here we had -2, and then let's say here we had 6, S, A, and C, and then you did not have that, for you to find the x value of D, any idea of how you can work it out?
Sir?
So let's say you needed to know the x value of the turning point. How would you then work it out while you don't have that formula there or that equation?
Sir?
Yes, go for it.
Do you mean if they didn't give us the equation?
Yes, but we just know that the x-intercepts is -2 at A and then 6 at C. Maybe
Y-
let's not say 6, maybe let's say 4.
okay. From what I know, if in the
Or maybe
instruction,
-4 and then 2 on this side.
okay. So
Mhm.
sir, from what I understand, if they don't give you the if the formula for the graph is for the function graph is unknown, but they give you the two x-intercepts and the y-intercept, you are going to use that formula which says y is equals to a in brackets x minus x1 close brackets x minus x2 to solve for the equation. And then after you found the
Okay.
equation, am I going too fast, sir?
No, not too fast, but you are turning point formula say. So not that you are going too fast, but you are taking a long drive and you will get to a point where you have done a lot of work for 1 mark. But I will teach you what I need to teach you. It seems like you were not aware. But do you agree that this actually cuts this function into 2 equal halves? I'm sure
Yes,
Nova
sir.
9, you are listening. I'm just going to assume that you are watching on your PC and you're unable to speak. Just keep on commenting in case if you've got any questions or if you've got any comments, you can just send a chat. But this is what I'm saying. seen it. So I wanted just to know the x value there. So you use the midpoint formula because this line, the axis of symmetry, it cuts this function into two equal halves. So if you want to know the x value there, you take x1, you plus it with x2, then you divide it by 2, meaning you will take that -4, you plus it by 2, you divide it by 2, then you will get what? -1. So that will mean the x value there is -1 as an example. Does it make sense?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so just be aware of that. I'm not sure at what stage or at what point, but you might need it is somewhere in your not necessarily exam, but somewhere as you do mathematics, you might need that information. So now it means the x value for the turning point, it can be determined by that formula of x is equals to -b/2a, and the other way you can find it by using the midpoint formula, as long as you know the x-intercepts. That's how you can know the x-intercept. Let me give you need
What did you say, sir?
like x-intercept, you have intercept, and they say of it is x, and
I didn't hear the question, sir. You were breaking.
don't have all of
Can you
that.
please repeat the
I'm not
question?
sure. Can you hear me now, Sinit? Okay, but can you hear me now? Maybe let me try to hotspot. Okay, it looks like now it's connected. Guys, are you still there? Can you now hear me, Sinit?
Yes, sir.
Nova 9, I got disconnected. I just came back. Okay, Nova 9 confirmed. So this is what I was saying. I wanted to give an example in a situation where you will need to use what I've just taught you now. Can you see what I've done there? We are not given equation. We just have the x-intercepts, and we have point D being the turning point, but they say the coordinates of D is x and 7. Can you see there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so that formula Sinit of y is equals to a into x minus x1 close x minus x2 close. It can't work because the third point is unknown. Can you see? You only have one x-intercept, the other second intercept. The other point, you just know the y value, so you won't know what the x value is. Can you see?
Yes, sir.
Maybe let me write it down so that it's clear. So you have y is equals to a, let's say x minus x1, x minus x2. So what I'm saying is you do have y value 7. A is what you're looking for, but you don't have that x. You may be having that -4. You may be having a that 2 there, but you end up having two unknowns, a and also that 1. Can you see? The 7 you have is given, but that is unknown. So this formula, it cannot work in that case. That's when you will need to use the midpoint formula by using these two values. You add them together, you divide by 2. That's how you will know the x value. Does it make sense now?
Yes, sir.
Good, good. So now there is another question. which says write down the equation of the axis of symmetry of that. Any idea of how that can be worked out?
Sir,
Mm-hmm.
for 1 point for the coordinates of D, I got -1. Sorry, -half.
Yes,
And
that is
then
correct.
for D, sorry, for the Y value, I got 11/4.
Okay, no, then it's fine. So, in this case, even if we are not doing the calculations, it's fine. We just discuss how to work it out, because an assumption is that in terms of calculations, you will be able to get the correct answers, just to save time.
Oh, okay, sir.
Okay, so there's the next question. Write down the equation of the axis of symmetry of f of x. Before we even get to that 1.3, let me ask my own question. What is the equation of the axis of symmetry?
It's when the graph is cut in half, basically.
Yeah, so now let's answer the question. What is the equation of the axis of symmetry?
Uh, so won't you just uh, oh, won't you just add 5 to the equation, sir?
No, not that one, Sinit. Before we get to this one, not that one. Before we get to this one, myself, I'm asking a question to say, what is the
Oh,
equation of the axis of symmetry?
it's y is equals to -x plus c, or y is equals to x plus c.
Y is equals to negative x plus c, you say.
And y is equals to x plus c.
And y is equals to x plus c. Hmm. Oh, okay. I think I understand your point. Okay. I think, Sinit, on your side, we will have to make sure that we go through these things in preparation for next year. But what I would like to make you aware of is that I now understand these are the formulas for hyperbola, not parabola. Makes sense.
Yes, sir.
This is the one with a negative gradient, and this is the one with a positive gradient. But for a parabola, it's a different story. The axis of a symmetry, it is this line that cuts it into two equal halves. How many lines or a yes, how many axes of symmetries do we have for a parabola? It's only one line, which is that one. So the equation, it's like they want to know what is that value. So the equation for the parabola, you will always say x is equals to something. What is that something? It is the x coordinate of the turning point, which can be found by using this formula. So that means this formula is for calculating the x value of the turning point. At the same time, this formula is for calculating the axis of symmetry, the equation for the axis of symmetry. So in short, Sinit, the equation for the axis of symmetry is x is equals to -half. It's like they want to know what is the equation of that line. x is equals to negative half. I'm not sure if it makes sense, honorable members.
So we are basically not calculating, we're just writing the x value for the turning point.
Yes, that's it. That's why the question there, they say write down. They are not saying calculate. You will always have to write it down. And that value, it is the x value of the turning point. In case if you can't write it down, then you use that formula to calculate it, then you will write it down.
Okay, sir.
Does it fully make sense? Okay, maybe let me ask a question and say on a Cartesian plane, I'll just do something there just so that you are confident on this question. There is the y-axis, x-axis, that is the origin. And let me do that. So here, let's say it is 4, and then that x-intercept, there is negative 3. And then I will do that line of symmetry, the axis of symmetry there. So now my question is, what is the equation of the line of axis of symmetry? For that function of g, I will call it g.
Won't you just find the x value of the midpoint?
Exactly that. Now you got it,
Okay.
Sinit. Now you got it. Let's see. Honorable member, you still there? Yes, sir. Okay. Loganai, do you understand the honorable member? Okay. Now let's attend to this specific question where they say write down the equation of the axis of symmetry of f of x is a f of x into x minus 5. What will it be? No idea.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's firstly interpret what does this mean. So what this means, it means this graph, they are shifting it. And can you see they are shifting its x position, and they are shifting it by 5 units. The question now is it shifting to the right or to the left? Can you guys guess? So if they say f of x, and then, for example, the sign and then 7, they're simply saying that function is shifting. Its x position is shifting by 7 units. The sign, if it's a plus or minus, the sign will tell you whether it is to the right or to the left. Just this part, does it make sense what I've explained there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now let's talk about the signs. When it is a plus sign, does it mean it shifts to the right or it shifts to the left?
If it's plus, then it's shifting to the left.
If it's a minus?
To the right.
Yes, exactly that. So what you must know, Sinit, is that what they are doing, they are taking that axis of symmetry that we know. They are shifting it by how many units? By 5 units. In which direction? Towards the right. Then the answer that you get, it is the new equation for the axis of symmetry. So they're actually shifting it towards that side. Then that function will now do something like this. Does it make sense, or am I losing you there?
No, it makes sense, sir.
So that sign there being negative, but me writing it there as positive, it doesn't confuse most.
No, sir.
Okay, that's good. Let me check the honorable member there. Okay, then it's fine. Are you sure, Sinit, you fully understand?
Yes, sir. I used to practice that one. Those type of
Okay,
situation.
okay. But now you won't get confused most, because you saw there it was that into that. I was worried that you're also going to get confused by the signs, but if not, that is very much good. You will just know that every time when there is an axis of symmetry that undergoes a shift, it's either they tell you by words or they tell you like that, where they say f of x maybe a plus a half. When they say plus a half, in your mind, you know that it is actually shifting towards the left. And then you just take the original axis of symmetry and then you just minus it by half. That is the answer that you get, the shift. Okay, so now they are saying determine the value of x for which negative f of x is greater or equals to 0.
Mm.
How can we work out this one?
To be honest with you, sir, I struggle with these kinds of questions.
Yes, no, these kinds of questions are very much tricky. The inequality questions, you will need to have gone through some more questions, but very quickly, let me try to explain it. You might need to rewrite it. It's like, you see that equation in which it is given, it's not in the standard form. This one also, you might need to rewrite it and say, if you are given it as negative f of x, which is greater or equals to 0, would you agree with me that since we have f of x, let's try to remove that negative. By removing it, it means we're going to have positive f of x. Then that inequality sign, it changes to become that. The negative that is supposed to be on 0, it will just be 0, because negative 0, positive 0, it makes no difference. Just that part, does it make sense?
So you just divide by -1.
Yes, the reason we do that is because we already have f of x. So we just want to get rid of that so that we can now interpret it nicely, because it's like we are saying, okay, in other words, they are actually asking us which x values is f of x below or equals to 0. It's like they are saying something something if 2 is equals to x, but in our mind we know that it is actually something x which is equals to 2. It is the same thing, but we had to rewrite it so that it's easy to interpret.
Oh, okay, sir.
So now can you see, it's like they want to know the x values where f of x is below 0. Do you agree that from that point there going down, that's where the x values are below a, that's where f of x, remember f of x is like y, so that's where y is below or equals to 0, but what they want is the x value. So we are just going to say from where x it is less or equals to that x-intercept. That is our first mark. And then again, we're going to say from that x value all the way in that direction, then we give the x value for C, or the x-intercept. That's it. So it's like we're saying from this point going all the way in that direction, that function of f will forever be below, because you can see it continues up to infinity. And also from that point C, going towards the right, it will always be below. But if they wanted where it was above, then this is the portion that we concentrate on. And mathematically, we were going to say it's actually between. This thing, it means between. It is actually between that x value and again that c value.
So if okay, yeah, you see that's the part that catches me, sir.
Confusing,
Even
ne?
though I understand, like I know the answer, but usually if the inequalities are wrong, then the whole answer is wrong. That's
That's
why
true.
I always lose marks.
That's true. But let me again explain to you so that you know how to use those inequalities to give the answer, and also how to make sense of those inequalities. Let us say, Sinit, let's say it's always two ways in which you can represent these things. There might be some other ways, it depends on the situation. Now I'm going to explain it this way. Let's say we want to say starting from there, going in that direction. Do you know how we represent it in terms of inequalities, Sini? That's what I want to teach you. So you say where x which is starting from that value. If you want to say towards the left, your inequality sign must point in that direction. If from the question the inequality was just less than, then you were going to put less than there. But because it is less or it's equals to, whether it's greater or it's equal to, as long as it has that, then you will also include it there. And then let's say that value there, it was -3, just as an example. And then this one, it was 1. So that means you will say -3. What this means? It means starting from -3 towards the right direction, towards that direction of the arrow, that's where this function will be below, because you can see it continues up to infinity from that -3 going in that direction. Similarly, on this side, if you want to say from there towards the right, then you say from where x it is 1 towards the right, it will always be below. But if you want to represent this section, you will always put it like this. This thing, it means between. In English, this thing, it means between. And then this one in that direction, that one, it means from. From -3 towards the left. From 1 towards the right. What makes it from is because it's greater or it's equals to. It's less or it's equals to. Meaning starting from. Not an easy one, not an easy one to explain, not an easy one to understand. It only makes sense after you've done many of these type of questions. So just in case if it feels like it's difficult to understand, do not worry that much for now. But let me give you guys an example, then we will try to interpret it just so that you understand how to use this inequality signs. Let's say on a Cartesian plane, we have that function, Here, let's say it is 2, there it is 2. This function is the function of f. And then if they say for which values of x, for which values of x is f of x less than 0. How are you going to answer that one? Without using the inequality signs, let's try to interpret this. Do you not want to give it a try in it to interpret it, to say what does it mean when it says where f of x is less than 0? Less than means below. Which part of that f is below 0?
It's between -2 and 2.
100%, exactly that. 100%. I made a mistake there. It has to be negative. Exactly that's in it. So, by use of inequalities, what did I say is between? How do you represent between?
So you are going to write x in the middle,
Yes,
and then
exactly that. Exactly that. So you just say it's between -2 and 2. That's where it is below that section.
yeah.
Yes, that's where it's below. So if they said where f of x is greater than or is above that, which section is it?
It is x greater than -2. Okay. Yeah, and then x, wait, x less than, is it, wait, oh, I'm forgetting the sign, but it is x
Okay,
greater than -2, x
okay,
less than -2.
okay. Let me intervene there. You already know that you're going to say x. Let's now talk about this section, just that section. Is it towards the left or towards the right?
It's towards the left.
So between this arrow and that arrow, which one describes towards the left?
The
Is,
arrow on the left,
is it the first one or the second one?
the first one.
Okay. So that means we will say x towards the left of -2. That's when it will be above, which is this side. Then this side, is it towards the left or towards the right?
It's towards the left. Sorry, towards the right.
Yes. Then you will say x in that direction of that 2. That's how you can easily remember it. Because you can say, starting from this, you can see that it continues towards the right. And then this one, it continues towards the left to be above 0 line. That.
Thank you, sir.
So can you see, without you having to worry about remembering this being less, that being greater, it just has to make sense. This thing is an arrow. Towards the left of what? Of -2. That's where it is above. And then towards the right of what? Of 2. That is when that statement is true. Do you now understand it? Is it better now? Are you improving your understanding there?
Yes, sir. Your trick helped me to understand it, sir.
It makes it very much easier.
Yes,
Nova
sir.
9, what about you, honorable member? Does it make sense on your side? Understand. Okay, good test.
Sir,
Okay, yes.
are we done with the lesson?
No, there's another question that I wanted us to do, unless if you guys you've got something to prepare, then we won't need to continue.
If my fellow classmate is also understand, I just wanted to ask for a tip on how to to do probability, sir.
Okay, no, I see. On that one, I think I will need to forward you um a full lesson because probability is done by my colleague. I don't think you've attended his class because you joined recently. So Sir Chris is the one who's best with probability. So the reason why myself I'm not doing it is because when I did my high school, it was before the topic was introduced. So I haven't done it completely. So that is why myself, I don't cover that topic, but Sir Chris, he has done it. It's unfortunate. He has done it before you joined. So that's why I was saying what I will do it is to look for a recording and then you'll be able to then catch up. I just remembered now. I think it's yeah, we do have many lessons on probabilities. I'll just remember to forward it to you after this class. Just remind me on WhatsApp, name.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Otherwise, I think it's fine. We can leave it here, honorable members. I understand. Yeah, I think we can leave it here so that you guys also have enough time to prepare um on your side. I think it's enough if you've learned a thing or two. Otherwise, any questions related to what we have done today, or are we all okay?
I believe it's all okay.
All okay on your side? Okay, no question. Okay, now then it's fine, honorable members. Then it's fine. It's fine until we meet again.